What is up, SmackNPie here, and welcome back to another Dark Deception theory video. Today, we are going to take a step back from all the news, teasers, all the hype, and let's actually focus on why you all subscribed to this channel. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are the theories. This time, story side of the game. So without wasting any more time, let's begin. So as you all remember, a very long time ago, I made a video on the first secret from Stranger's Sewers, and I explained how it connects to the story, the family. It's very in-depth. I will recommend you guys to check it out. However, I never made a follow-up like I wanted to on that secret, which was very important and far too important than the first one actually. In chapter 3's second level, aka the most annoying level of them all. Annoying, more than annoying, than deadly decadence. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Crazy Carnival. In the second zone, inside the funhouse, there is a very sneaky but not so sneaky secret room that you can stumble upon. For some people, it may not be a big deal, but for me, no. As some of you said, and I'm not making this up, some of you did say that I'm like game theory. But for Dark Deception, that, ladies and gentlemen, that room blew me away. But first, let's do a quick recap of the first secret note and where it puts the story anyway. In Stranger Sewers, right when the level starts, there is a hidden door that you can use to climb up and get a secret area. This was the first time any big secret in-game or gameplay-wise was revealed, where we learned direct connection about our main protagonist's life and the story. And the game, of course. In the two letters, we learned some of the most important stuff that we can use later for the timeline. Heck, we can even determine the location for all of this. It's that simple and easy to decode. Firstly, if you zoom in the letter, it reveals the location, plain and clean. Pittsburgh Psychiatric Hospital. So we know the location now. However, it's not the location because it'll change, and I'll come to that in just a second. But secondly, Tammy Hauser, former Christine Drazy, is our character's daughter who was admitted in this hospital, and most importantly, she was Caucasian and a 12 years old little girl. So that's a big no-no already. But then very strangely, the devs are going there for the dates, unlike Five Nights at Freddy's, as it is mentioned in the letter clean as a whistle that she has a mental history that dates back to
1988.
It's like FNAF all over now. I know I just said unlike FNAF, and now I'm saying it's like FNAF. Now listen, a new book just came out. You guys have seen Game Theory's video on the Fazbear Fright into the Pit video, 1985. I really would like to talk about it, so if you guys want to see that video, me covering that book and revealing the secrets of 1985, you already know what to do. Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, so if you look hard enough through both notes, we can figure out the timeline, but that's not why we're here. We learned that after main character leaves his wife, or abandoned, in my opinion, the theory we established a very long time ago, he was left alone with Tammy Hauser. Taking care of her, however, was not something he dreamt of. Now slowly realizing that maybe leaving his wife wasn't a good idea after all, because he wasn't feeling bad or guilty, but he was feeling anger that he should have left his daughter, or abandoned his daughter, as well, as she was suffering from the same disease her mother was, which is a yikes moment for him. We can also connect the dots of disease of her and her mother. However, now after all this time, when I read main character's letter to former Christine, now Tammy, in the Stranger Sewers, I'm realizing the biggest story here, like way bigger. What we also learn is that in this secret room, the father is talking to his suffering daughter, how he's comparing her to her mother, defective, her condition, just like her mother. We went over this in details, but now after seeing it from the knowledge we learned and consumed from all the teasers and locations and the news and the secrets, it changes everything. But then to make it even better, we have Crazy Carnival's secret room, and let me assure you, this is not your usual secret. No. This, ladies and gentlemen, no pun intended, is a game changer. Now, firstly, I would like to apologize for not covering it early. I know I should have, but hey, we are here. So as you might have noticed that I'm not explaining tiny details, as it is not necessary right now, but we will later, when we will decode the story piece by piece, and trust me, we will. This room is quite easy to find, unlike the first one, which can be overlooked quite randomly. I'm talking about Stranger Sewers, by the way. Anyways, upon entering the second zone, the edge of the map is where you'll spend most of the time. Trust me, I'm talking from experience. experience, and it'll only take you around 2 to 4 minutes to find yourself on the edge of the map. And when you do that, watch out for this block on your map. This is where the secret room is hidden. So upon entering this room, things will change. Unlike the last secret where father was talking or verbally abusing her daughter, this time the daughter is taking matters into her own hands, because as soon as you enter, you see two things on the wall, on the left and the right side. One says time's up, we already know what that is, and secondly, you can't change what you are. This is a British show on Netflix that I quoted. I get my accent messed up sometimes, so I apologize. Anyways, this alone already shows and explains that even though the daughter, Tammy Hauser, acknowledges his presence and his actions, her father's by the way, of what he's trying to do now, unfortunately she believes that the man his father claims to be, or once claimed to be, the good, loving, caring father, which he never was, by the way. No matter how much he begs and cries now, he cannot change that. He can't change who he is, and that is being an abuser, both verbally and physically, taking the most precious things in life for granted. Not just that, there are two notes that changed the course of history for this game and its story. In the first note, we realize that he is now talking to himself. After seeing the truth, after realizing the consequences of his actions, he is now slowly understanding what he's done and what he lost. Although he still hasn't changed yet, but it's affecting him in some way. Hence, seeing them, his family, in his vision around him in real life, even though they're dead. Them dominating his dream, his fear of them destroying him literally and figuratively because they'll never forgive him for the lives he destroyed. There's also a change in his mentality of, even though they are unhappy to see me, at least I get to see them. That's all that matters. Strong words and wish for a man who abused a 12-year-old daughter for a thing she has no control over. Good job. Father of the year, ladies and gentlemen. We'll also learn his attempts of moving on fails. Other people let him down. Partying doesn't help him. His friend doesn't either. Good charity work, not a single help. He's missing that internal satisfaction because of the guilt he's facing for his family's death. But the interesting part here is that whatever version we are playing him as, he's accepted his fate afterlife, and most importantly, that he would pay any price to get a chance to right the wrongs. Now, how would he right the wrongs? What is the wrong here? I'll come to that in just a second, but the last note, this one is a game changer as well. Now, why this is interesting is because, firstly, we learn protagonist's name, Doug Hauser, but we also learn another new location, which was I talking about earlier, Manhattan, New York, and he was a defense attorney. How many of you are studying law there? Let me know. There is a theory going around that Doug Hauser may have not been the main protagonist because, listen to this, and it is a good theory, that Doug Hauser, who is a defense attorney, was a lawyer for the main protagonist. He represented him in the court after the death of his family, which he had no connection to, by the way, but he did push them mentally to the point where they committed suicide. Now, did they commit suicide? It did actually happen, because we see the chapter 4's teaser, which I'm gonna come to in just a second, where we see police investigating the whole bridge scene, both Christine and Tammy Hauser. Christine, again, is not confirmed word, it's just me using that name because it just came in the notes and I'm just using it and running with it. So this whole situation, which we will cover with two propositions in the timeline video series, but it is an interesting dilemma of Doug Hauser not being the main protagonist. Anyways, we learned that he faced sexual assaults charges for what? Well, this is interesting because not only 1, 2, or 3, but 5 separate women, yes, were involved. 5 of them. Now, do I believe that he did that? No. But did he deserve punishment one way or another? Absolutely. Which is why, at the end of this note, he said, and I quote, "They loved what they could take from me, but they never loved me, not like you both did." This was big, and I mean huge, because not only the character got charged for something he didn't thought he would get in trouble for, but 5 separate women exploited the heck out of him just to take whatever they could, because remember, he was a defense attorney and he was rich, as learned from the same newspaper, the vehicle he owned. So what this tells us, it's simple, and let me make it easy for you, and also predict where the story is headed towards. As much as Doug Hauser is guilty for doing the mental and physical abuse, he's now trying to do the right thing just for a second chance, or just one chance. We know both Christine, not confirmed name for his wife, and Tammy Hauser, the daughter, are dead. However, he has stumbled upon Beers and Malik to ask for help through black magic to meet them, to meet his dead family, just to say sorry and ask for forgiveness because he accepts his end, aka death and whatever comes after life. I know this sounds like a big leap, but all the evidence is here. Chapter 4's story will revolve around this. Doug trying his best to get that ring piece so Beers can fulfill his darkest desire to revive 2 dead bodies in Otherworld, Dark World, so Doug can talk to the dead, no pun intended, and make it right. Can he make it out alive from it? Will he even meet his family one last time or at all? Will his family gonna forget everything and move on and forgive? We don't know that, but one thing's for sure. You remember that bridge teaser? This chapter, chapter 4, is where he's starting to get close to them. He'll feel the pressure, the force of doing what is necessary, the dark forces messing his head. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a cutscene in the nurse's gameplay of him fading out and finding the dark world even more dark and complicated, not seeing things for who they are and what they are, but seeing them for what dark forces want him to see, because remember, they're messing with his head. Tammy Hauser and Christine wanted Doug to show them the love they were giving him, that's all. They are acknowledging his actions and him realizing he messed up, but they both know you can't change who you are, which is why it's up to us, the players, to make sure we show them that he's changing. That is why I believe the true ending will unlock, and I heard the rumors from VGamer, I don't know if they're correct, that the final portal will unlock, the 11th one, once and only once you get S ranks in all the levels. If that is correct, then my theory makes sense, because that will be his way, Doug's way of showing how much he's suffered to get one final chance to make things right. Are you gonna blow the entire journey by just beating and getting one ending? Or are you gonna be like me and try to beat them all with S rank and getting the ending? I said it to everyone. Monkey Business, Elementary Evil, Deadly Decadence, Stranger Sewers, Crazy Carnival, and all the 5 upcoming levels. I'm telling you right here in front of you, I'm coming for you to get that S rank. What are you gonna do about it? The choice is in your hands. Which brings me to the final point, the story explanation, the timeline series. When shall we start that? Make sure to let me know through those comments and I'll figure something out. Peace out. Thank you very much. Subscribe. 25k. Let's do it.